On crossing this bridge, you enter the indigenous Peruvian community of Yamino. There's a health clinic, a school, and a place for traditional arts and crafts. Here, the Cacataibo live alongside the Shipibo Conibo in peace. But the community's territory stretches far beyond the limits of the village. Most of it is Amazon rainforest, covering around 300 square kilometers. And it's in there that danger lurks.
During my life, I have seen a lot of killing and threats to our authorities and community leaders. I've also been threatened. I'm also wanted.
EMILIO ESTRELLA leads a group of men who patrol the community's land. For that reason, Coca farmers have him in their sights. Every month, a state program updates a satellite map of their land and they investigate newly deforested sites. But Estrella says it's unwise to seek out these spots alone and unarmed.
Lately, we have seen a lot of illicit crops in the community, and we do not want them on our land because in other affected communities, there have been deaths. We want our population to live peacefully without death threats or the murder of our community members.
2 years ago, Abildo Melendez was shot dead. The Cacataibo leader had stood up to drug traffickers and land grabbers. Peru's human rights prosecutor Daniel Jara told CGTN the trial of his alleged killer would begin this month. Melendez's murder was the first in a wave of killings of environmental defenders. The cocaine business is the main reason why more indigenous leaders are being murdered in the Peruvian Amazon. The pandemic led to an explosion of coca cultivation in indigenous territories, and that is now putting whole communities under threat. Those threats forced leader HERLIN ODICIO, who used to live in Yamino, to go into partial hiding.
Unfortunately, this death threat is for life and this persecution will continue. This does not end here, so I have to be in hiding. But I will always defend my people, the struggle of my people. I will not remain silent.
Last month, the outspoken leader of the Cacataibo Federation got state approval for the creation of 2 new indigenous reserves for his people who still live in isolation. In Peru's central Ucayali region alone, there were more than 20 death threats last year. Many communities are at risk from the ever-expanding radius of coca fields, which grew by around 40% in the last 5 years. And authorities have discovered more than 50 clandestine airstrips in this vast region for drugs flights.
In these last 4 months, we have found that one of the consequences of the pandemic has been that international drug trafficking has been directly focused on the Amazon, fundamentally affecting the integral property of Peru's indigenous peoples.
Sobron admits his agency had, in the past, promoted individual land titles over communal indigenous property rights.
Even the institution that I direct in the past has promoted individual titling processes that, far from securing Amazonian territories, have put them on a platter so that interests linked to drug trafficking, illegal mining and illegal logging can expand at the expense of communal territories.
Communities like Unibacuyacu, where Melendez was murdered, are far from the reach of the authorities. The community's new leader also fears the same fate.
It hurts me to think that I may leave home and not return. For me, that is something that I cannot let happen. Our brother, Arbildo, left his children not thinking what might become of them, if they will be hungry, because he is not coming back.
The Peruvian state is taking steps to protect remote communities in the Amazon. But can the changes happen fast enough to prevent the next murder? COLLYNS, CGTN, in Yamino, Ucayali, Peru.